One everyday item uniquely captures Queen Elizabeth's 70 years on the throne: money. There are currently 4.7 billion banknotes and 29 billion coins in circulation in the UK with the Queen's face front and center.
The image is almost like a logo now, isn't it, of the UK and the state.
But now as Charles takes the reign, currency along with several other items stand to change.
Basically, the biggest things is probably going to be the currency, which will take quite a number of years.
Here's why updating money may be a longer process than some of the other items that bear her name. After 7 decades, the Queen's presence is deeply ingrained in the UK, seen tangibly on stamps and postboxes, even on cookie and gin labels. Some things like the national anthem have already been updated. But currency is a longer process, as the previous precedent shows.
Coins for the new reign will shortly be turned out in quantity at the Royal Mint. Let's hope you'll soon get some.
Elizabeth became queen in 1952, with her coronation the following year. Coins in the UK began showing Elizabeth's portrait in 1953, according to the Royal Mint, the nation's coin supplier. But it wasn't until 1956 that the Bank of England received permission from the UK Treasury to use the Queen's portrait on a banknote. And it was another 4 years before the public saw the first note in hand. While there's a long history of monarchs featured on coins, this made her the first British royal to have a photo featured on paper bills.
In historic England, one of the only ways that some of the commoners would even know what the monarch looked like was by having it on a coin.
Since Elizabeth's first note, the bank has revised it several times, adding new security features and updating the Queen's image. Most recently, in an effort to extend the lifespan of its currency, the bank began printing polymer notes rather than paper ones. That transition began in 2016 and will be complete by the end of September this year. Meanwhile, the latest coin in the UK was unveiled in 2015. The Royal Mint worked with the Queen on 5 portraits, with the latest created by artist Jodie Clark.
Quite a lot of departments sort of touch the project. So once I finish with it, it'll go on to production. And we not only do the drawing, we sculpt the low relief sculpture, which is on the coin as well, which is going to stamp out all the coins.
A separate version of his design began appearing on Australian coins in 2019.
The effigy on Australian coins is called the Commonwealth effigy. It's actually a different portrait altogether. Any Commonwealth country could use that portrait, but the UK one is exclusively for the UK.
Australia is just one of many Commonwealth countries whose currency bears the Queen's image, but that doesn't guarantee Charles will take her place on those currencies.
Does Canada, does Australia, does New Zealand, does Belize still feel a need or interest in putting the king on its currency? Does it want to update the Queen? Most of Canada's currency has phased out the Queen, for instance, but they do leave her on the 20.
Andrew Leigh, Australia's Assistant Prime Minister for Treasury, reiterated this point in a recent press conference.
As I understand it, the decision to include the Queen's face in the $5 note was about her personally rather than about her status as the monarch, so that transition isn't automatic.
The Royal Australian Mint said that coins featuring the Queen will remain legal currency, but they will not release any new ones with her image in 2023. Still, with 15 billion coins featuring the Queen in circulation, and only 110 million new coins minted a year in Australia, coins featuring the Queen will remain in circulation for many years to come. Other Commonwealth countries have said they plan to continue using the Queen's image, like the Reserve Bank of New Zealand and the Bank of Canada. The Bank of England hasn't given any insight into its timeline for a note featuring Charles, but it assured the public that current notes featuring the Queen will continue to be legal tender. The Royal Mint already offers coins that feature King Charles on its website, though these coins were made for his birthdays and are not in circulation. As for how Charles' portrait may look, some have said that he will face left since the Queen faced right.
The short answer is tradition, because you alternate sides, apparently, here in terms of which way the monarch is facing on the currency.